We're talking about how to build a Ableton master set for use on a Sunday service today. So right here, I've got my Ableton template that I've already renamed, and I've already just added this mic input so that you can hear me talk to you today. So I'm going to drag onto the screen two different folders that we're going to be hopping between for this project. So this ESV Live folder is connected to all of our stage computers. So I'm going to create a new folder that's date is this coming Sunday, so August 15th, for instance. And then I'm going to navigate to my external hard drive to load up the tracks that we need for this particular day. So let me go look at Planning Center to find these songs that we need. Whoops. Okay, so we've got Great Things in G. I usually just select all these at once by hitting Command. Death Was Arrested. Oh, the Blood. Clean and C. And then Oh, Come to the Altar. I'm going to hit copy, and then I'm just going to paste these into this folder. So those are going to take a second to transfer over, and then I'll have access to them. Just a note too, I can't hear anything that's going on in Ableton today as I'm recording this video. So some of these transitions I'll just be essentially guessing, but you get the idea. All right, so our service order is Great Things. So that's our first song. I'm going to rename these locators according to their song name. I'll leave the number because that is the keyboard shortcut that'll get you to the beginning of that song. We got Death Was Arrested. Oh, the Blood. Four is Clean. And then 5 is Oh, Come to the Altar. And then we don't need 6, so I'll just right click and delete it. Okay, so I'm gonna drop in these songs just one by one, and we'll just go in order, and we'll make sure that each song is finished before we move on to the next one. So here's our folder where I dropped the tracks for this coming Sunday. I'm gonna just select all the tracks and Great Things, hit Command, drag them over the top of this. I'm gonna drop them onto one piano, and then they'll just kind of go down the page from there. And now I just need to line up these numbers so that everything stays on the correct track. And you can see here 7 is going to 7, 8's going to 8, this one is 10, so we're going to bring all these down. 11, 12, 13, 14, let's see, 16 I think would be, I'm off one, 16, 17, 18. So we'll just double check that. We're all good. All right. So for the first song in the set, we can just punch in the tempo up here. We can't do that for any songs after that, but this works for the first one. So those are all good. So those are pre-mixed. We'll go about muting and those things later, but I'm going to save this for right now. Always make sure that let's see, if I was doing this from scratch and I had the template open, I'd go to Save As. I'd name it the name I need it to be, which is always just Worship Center, because that alias is to the file on the desktop on our Loops computers. But today is a little bit different since I'm actually building these tracks a week and a half ahead. Okay, so I'm going to just save. Now that I got that saved, I'm going to open up our ProPresenter file for Great Things. That is located in ECC Worship, ProPresenter, Done, and then Great Things. The key doesn't matter because we're only going to drag click cues and ProPresenter MIDI cues as well. So I'm going to hop over to there. You will not be able to hear me talk when I'm in the other file, but I'll be back in 1 second. All right, we're back. So I just copied those 3 top tracks from beginning of the song to end of the song, and now I'm going to paste. And now we have click, cues, Pro Presenter cues, and then here's all of our audio tracks that we actually would hear in the house. So let's see. We'll hop on to song number 2 now. So Death Was Arrested, same thing. So I select all, hold Command, drop in the tracks. Before you release Command, let off your mouse, and now you can release Command. Now we're doing the same thing here, where we're just aligning these numbers to be on the correct tracks. All right, that one's done. Hit save. I'm going to jump over again to our our MIDI file. So I'm going to hop over here. You will not be able to hear me again. I'm going to copy, paste. I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. Pasting. We're also changing tempo here from 102 to 78. Because this song has automation in it, which you can see by that asterisk right there by the tempo in the folder for the song, we need to paste over the tempo automation. So I'm going to hop over once more to the MIDI file and just copy and paste that. You can't copy and paste the tempo automation at the same time as these MIDI tracks, unfortunately. So be right back. All right, now we're back in our main session. I'm gonna open up this master track, hit tempo, click here at the locator, and just hit Command V to paste. And I'm gonna hit these little 2 dots just to make the rest of the session at 78 BPM. We'll kind of edit that as we go. All right. So now that we've got these 2 songs in, we need to program in our transition between the 2. So like I said, I can't hear any audio today as I'm making this video. So I'm just gonna guess, and we'll just go with 2 measures, which is pretty standard. So I'm gonna select every single track, including the tempo track at the bottom. And now I'm just gonna zoom in until I can start to see like measures. So there you can see 109, there's 110, 111. So we'll just drop it. We'll drop the beginning of the song at 111. And so we've got end of the song here, click will start at measure 111, and then we've got, like a kind of a 2-bar click and count in until the song starts. So that'll probably be close. If you want to see how much actual time that is, you can select here to here, which is the last, the downbeat of the last song to the to beat 1 of the new song. And I've got this time selected, and you can see down here, it's going to be right here, but when I move my mouse, you won't be able to see it. But that's a 9-second transition from song 1 to song 2. That might be okay. That's probably a hair long from a fast song to like a medium tempo song, but we'll just leave it for now. I may shorten that if it felt long, but again, we'll just leave that for right now. So another thing I would tend to do, you don't have to do this. I guess I just like to do it to keep everything accurate. So this song's in 6/8, so I'm going to insert time signature change right here, punch in 6/8, and this song changes time signature throughout. It jumps between 6/8 and 3/8. So I'm going to have to manually put those in. I guess I don't have to, but this is something I choose to do so that everything stays really lined up with the grid. It wouldn't really make any difference at all in playback, like in the way that things sound. But anyways, I just like everything to be lined up. I can see visually where these time signature changes are happening because of the break in the click MIDI track that I've loaded in there. And I just know this song well enough to know that we're bouncing back between 3 and 6. So I think I'm on the second verse right now. Once we get to the chorus, we'll lock into just a straight 6/8. So now there's the chorus. Let's see, verse 2, or verse, I guess 3 is going to do the same thing. Bouncing back and forth. Whoops, you probably heard that. Hopefully that wasn't loud. I guess I should mention too, before we go about doing something like this, you would want to make sure that you're very happy with the length of the transition between song 1 and song 2, because when you start putting in things like this, these things are kind of hard to move around. So you want to make sure that you're pretty happy with your kind of the timeline of how things sound for transitions. All right, that may be it. I guess technically there's one right there too. All right, so what we're gonna do now is I'm zooming in between song 1 and song 2. We need to do some crossfading where necessary. So wherever 2 tracks run into each other, from one song to the next, we've got to have a crossfade in there, or else audio is just going to very abruptly cut off. So what I usually do is, it's sometimes just depends on the key which we're coming from and going to. If we're in the same key or a pretty relative key, I'm not as concerned with some hangover, because it tends to sound pretty natural. If we're going from like A to B flat or something like that, I might transition the songs a little bit harder, just so that there's not kind of weird hangover happening that sounds bad. So it's really just all subject to how you think it sounds. But what I tend to do, like on this piano track, we're going from G to A, which is okay, and there's not really any audio happening at all here. I'm just going to drag that out as far as it'll let me to the end of the file. So that's good for me. That one looks fine. That one needs some work. So let's see. So keep in mind, here's the downbeat of the song. Looks like we got a little bit of maybe fade in thing happening there. I probably, again, I'm just kind of guessing here. I'm going to select that time right there, hit Option Command F. It'll put in a crossfade. I'm going to hold F, and I'm going to just turn the crossfade up as loud as it'll go. Strings are good. Synth, I'm going to do the same thing as I did the piano, just pull it out. Synth bass, same deal. Okay, bass guitar, same. Acoustic. Acoustic ends right there, and it starts right there. I'm just gonna leave it right there. It's that will not matter at all. Lead electric. We'll probably just do one of these. Rhythm. Might do something kind of like that. Electric 3, there's no audio here or here, so I'm not going to do anything to that. That's fine. Perk is probably fine. It's hard to tell where the audio fades out. I'll just drag it out of the way since there's nothing happening here anyways. And then the effects track is great. So I'm going to let you hear this. Keep in mind that I can't, so if this sounds bad, it's not my fault. I'm also going to change something for you, so that you can hear all the instruments. These are routed down outputs. Sorry, I'm getting my okay, we'll back up. These are being routed down outputs that are for front of house, but I'm going to change them so that you can hear all of the instruments right now. So just to safeguard something, I'll just throw that there too. Okay, let's listen to this transition. All right. Again, I'm guessing that probably felt a little bit long, but we'll just leave it for right now. I'll fix that later when I can actually hear it. So that one's good. Let's move on to the next song and transition. So we're going to Oh the Blood. I'll kind of just drag this locator back. I'm gonna do the same thing here. I'm speeding along a little bit more because the process gets pretty repetitive after you've done, you know, one song. It's basically doing the same thing over and over and over again. All right, we're gonna save that. So I forgot to ask for MIDI cues for this song, so we don't have those yet. But we do have clicking cue cues, but no pro presenter cues at the time. Okay, I'm gonna paste that in. I'm gonna go to 4/4. Actually, I'll do that in a sec. Okay, we're gonna save, and then I need to grab automation for this song as well. And we'll paste that. And now the rest of the file is at 60 BPM, aside from, you know, the retard at the end of that song. So we'll do the same thing here with this one. From Death Was Arrested at Oh the Blood. 2 bars would be at 242. So that right there is 4.6 seconds. And then we got that, which is another 4. That'll probably be okay. We're going from ballad to ballad, so I think that'll work. Make sure we got all of this selected, plus a little extra, kind of just to be safe. Grab the tempo automation too. And then we're just gonna drag this back to right there. Drag our locator back. We're going back to 4/4. And then I saw that we had some time signature changes, I think toward the end of this one. I'm not as familiar with this song. Yeah, we just got that one time signature change. Okay, so this has been happening to Jason, and I don't know why, and now it just happened to me. So something's happening when these tracks don't get drug out all the way. I don't know. That's a new thing that started happening. That's weird. Anyways, I can probably fix all these at once, which I'll just do like that. And then we'll do the crossfades. So going from the key of A to back down to G here. So not a terrible key change, but not great. We have some notes in common in those scales. So this one ends on an A chord, and I think this one starts on a G. So, all right, the piano track, probably we'll just kind of do something like that. That one's not really going to matter because that'll be live anyways, but just in case, I do crossfade those as well. Keys doesn't need anything. This pad track will need something. Looks like the volume starts getting louder here too, which may sound okay, may sound weird. Let's just try like maybe like that. That may be okay. That's good. It's good. That one's good. Bass is fine. Yeah, acoustic is good. Lead guitar is good. Yeah, rhythm's good. Perk is good. So that was actually very easy. Okay, so after this song, we are having a stop track because we're going to a speaking element, I think. So we're going to have this stop track pause playback. So yeah, we're going to communion. And then we're going to go to the song clean. So let's do the same thing we've been doing. Drop those in. Let's see. We're going to 67 with tempo automation. All right, that one's good. We'll save. And then I'm going to pop over and grab the MIDI stuff that we need. Paste, save, pop back over. Okay, we'll paste that one. I'm gonna zoom in and just Get rid of those so that everything else is at 67. So this one had some time signature automation too. Man, we've got a lot of that this week. So we're going from 4 to 3, I think. Whoops, I punched in 5, 5, 4. That's wrong. All right, that one's good. This doesn't go into another song, so we'll just put another stop track at the end of it. And cool, those are good. Okay, and then we get the sermon, and then after the sermon, we've got another song. So let's drag in tracks for that one. All right, I think we're good there. We do have tempo automation again. This one goes in, whoops, this one's in 6. Let's go over and copy some MIDI. And now for tempo. All right, and before I paste this, I've not shown you an example today where I manually put in the tempo for a song that doesn't have automation, which is an option that I prefer because I'm faster at it rather than hopping back and forth between files. So let's pretend that "O Come to the Altar" was just at 70 BPM the whole time and there was no retard at the end. So we're coming from 67, so let's punch in 67 here as our low value, and then we'll punch in 70, which is the tempo we're gonna go up to for the next song. I'm gonna hit B to turn on the pencil tool. And now this low line is 67, and then all the way up at the top is 70, as you can see. So I'm gonna make a little notch there all the way up at the top, just in the middle of one of these little lines. Hit B again to uncheck the pencil tool, and then I'm just gonna click these 2 break lines, and now the rest of the session is at 70 BPM. So that's how I would personally do it if I was going to a song that didn't have automation. Now you could copy and paste from the Ableton file even if there was no automation. That works, but that's just my preference because I'm faster at it. But since this one does have automation, I still have the automation copied, and then I'm gonna paste it, and now you can see it through that right there at the end where it needs to be. So I think this one's done. Let's just cut and paste the stop track at the end. Yeah, we're good there. No time signature automation needed. No crossfades needed. So crossfades only happened here and here. Stop track. So yeah, another way to think of it is we're always either doing a crossfade or a stop track. Those are basically the only 2 options. All right. I think that concludes this portion of it. There are a couple things I guess I need to do now that I've got this saved. So I'm going to save this as, I'm going to break these out between 2 campuses now, actually. And we'll fix this later. So this will be one version for the worship center. And then we'll do another version for Bloomington. And I'm going to open back up the worship center one. Okay, here's the worship center one again. So now I'm going to start looking at my personnel for who's playing in the band. Doesn't really matter who it is, I guess, but it just matters what instrumentation we have. So we do have a, let's see, you can kind of tell all of these asterisked instruments, or I also colored them like a kind of a darker shade of the rest of the colors within their groups. So we do have a piano player, which, anyway, sorry, I didn't finish that thought. So these in a full band setting where we have every instrument covered, these are live instruments. So we do have a piano player. We do not have a keys player. We've got bass, acoustic, lead. We don't have rhythm, and then there's no, there's no drum pad on any of these songs, so that doesn't matter. So for normal campus, we're gonna save this, and then we just have to do one more thing. We need to put in playlist markers for ProPresenter. So, oops, that's annoying. I'm not sure why that one went to 6.8. Doesn't really matter, but it bothers me. Okay, so we're gonna drag in on MIDI clips, go to MIDI cues, open up ProPresenter, open up select playlist, and we're just gonna drag these in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's just right in order of the song, super easy. For redundancy, I usually paste the playlist item there twice. They just have to happen before the lyric cues start. So you can see right here at the beginning of the clip, that's when the cue happens. Even though these clips are like a bar long, nothing's happening after that little 16th note of a cue. But I like having the big boxes so that you can just very clearly see them when you're zoomed out. So there's playlist 1. We'll do the same thing here on playlist, or song number 2, I guess. We're going to drag in playlist 2. I'm hopping over to 3 now, which, keep in mind, we don't have anything done for that one yet. I forgot to ask for them. Okay, playlist 4, same thing. Oops. There's 4. We got that one done. And now 5. We got that one. All right. So we're just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right there. And that'll do it for normal campus. I guess technically I would want to make sure that these are going back to their correct outputs, which if you wanted to change those, just make sure you get them routed back to the correct place. So I'll do that now so I don't forget. Okay, I think that's good. So we're going to save. And now let's jump over to, let me just make sure I didn't miss anything. Yeah, it looks good. Let's jump over to Bloomington and we'll make, sorry, I shouldn't have hop files when I was talking. We'll make those same types of changes specific to the Bloomington campus though. So we don't have a lead guitar player scheduled. That's not good. Huh. Hopefully that'll get filled. All right. So Bloomington, we always have piano. We never have keys. We always have bass and acoustic and usually lead guitar, but I guess we're still filling that slot. I think that's all that matters. If someone weren't able to be at practice, we'd also just want to make sure that their instrument was turned on. Okay, we're going to fix this time signature thing that I goofed up. And other than that, the only thing that's different, aside from which tracks to mute, is going to be how we do the playlist item. So because it all comes from one computer for ProPresenter, whereas at normal campus there's 2 computers, we need to kind of count down the plan. So pre-service is 1. Great Things is going to be playlist 2. This will be playlist 3. And then Oh the Blood will be playlist 4. Clean will be, let's see, I gotta do some counting here. 5, maybe 6, because Communion is playlist 5 on ProPresenter. And then Come to the Altar will be 6, 7, 8, 9. It'll be number 9. All right, and I think that's it. We got the right instruments muted. Hopefully we'll find a lead guitar player. And we got our playlist items correct. I think we're good. So that's how to put together a master set for Ableton. Hopefully that was helpful and not confusing. All right, see you later.